Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Krista, like it says in the YouTube username. Today's vlog will be talking about being in a relationship with someone that's in the military and how that process works. And we're recently married now. We started dating last year, but I will get to that. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the enlisting. See, when me and my boyfriend, his name's Charlie, he was my boyfriend at the time, when we were dating, went out a couple times, and he told me that he was going to enlist in the military. And I was like, you know, kind of hesitant at first because I knew, that he was going to have to go away. And that's another thing I'm going to be talking about here in a minute. But he enlists. He got sworn into the Army. And they did exams, like physical exams, they did background checks and stuff like that. And, before he initially got into the Army. And then he had to leave for boot camp. That is the first process of the training that they have to go through when you get, when you go. And his boot camp was in Oklahoma. And he was there for 3 months, I believe, is how long he was there. It was really hard on me when he first left because it was a very hard process because me and him talked to each other every day. We texted each other every day. We called each other every day. And, he was riding a bus all the way over there where they picked him up. And I was on the phone with him until they unloaded the bus. And when that happened, when they processed him to go into boot camp, they took his cell phone. There's no cell phones allowed on boot camp. So for those 3 months, we had to talk through mail, which is, we'll talk more about mail next week. What you can send and what you can't send to him if you're dating someone that's going to be enlisted in the military and all that. But I'm going to tell you my experience with boot camp. At the time, I was working second shift, and sometimes he can call, but it's very rare. And when he did call, he had a limited time, and he could only call so many days a week, and he had to choose who he can call. Sometimes he called me, and unfortunately, I missed his calls because I was at work. So he left me voicemails, and of course, I cried like a baby when I listened to him because I missed hearing his voice so much. And that's another thing. When he leaves, everything will remind you of him. Everything. And you will miss him a lot. I know it sounds silly, but you're going to miss him if you're really in depth with the relationship like me and him were before he left. So, but one time when he called, it was a weird number, and I answered it, and it was him. We talked for like 15 minutes, then he had to go. I could tell he was crying on the other line because, he missed home so much. And in next week's video, I will tell you more about his experience in boot camp as well, what he's told me. And, yeah. But anyway, he got to call a couple times. The first whole month, I didn't receive any letters from him. At first, I was thinking, like, oh God, did he forget about me or whatever? But there is a waiting period when you go to boot camp. The first 3 months, you can't send letters. It's what, I don't know if that works at every boot camp, but where he was, the first 3 weeks, you can't send anything. I looked up all this online and, how everything worked out. And then I finally got my first piece of mail. And I was, oh my gosh. And when he did send letters, they weren't very long. And that doesn't mean that, he doesn't, want to say more. They just have a very limited time to write when they're in boot camp as well. So, when they mailed, when you send a letter, when I sent a letter, it took him 3 days to receive it. And then when he wrote one, I received it 3 days as well. So you kind of get, the mailing process, how many days it took. And I wrote him a lot, and he wrote me several times, when he had time to do it, because I knew when he was at boot camp, he was going to be extremely busy. He's not going to have a lot of time to do anything, and all that. And boot camp was a very hard thing to go through. And I realized there's not a lot of videos or a lot of, help out there to tell people, if you're going to date someone in the military. My hair is a mess. Dating anyone in the military, and all that. So, yeah. This vlog on Mondays is to give you guys advice on military, being in a relationship with someone. Next week will be more in depth about it, and all that. What you can send and what you can't send him through the mail, because when they process mail, they go through it. They look at the mail and then give it to him. So, you don't want to send him anything that will embarrass him, and they would give him a hard time. You know what I mean? Anyway, if you guys have any questions about anything more than mailing and boot camp and all that, comment below and let me know and all that stuff. And I'm still processing through this journey. My husband's going to be deployed next year to Kuwait, and that's going to be another thing I'm going to be talking about, why I go through that. But there are things that we're going through right now, like he's not here, he's not in the field, and that's another thing we're going to be talking about. Give you guys advice, my experience that I've had so far and all that stuff. And if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know. Like I said, do it down there and all that stuff. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow about makeup. Tuesdays are makeup. I'm going to be reviewing the new 20-year celebration of Too Faced. I'm going to do swatches and stuff. I've used the palette a couple times, but I need to stop talking about it. Was that tomorrow's video? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this video was useful a little bit. Like I said, this is like an intro video, but I would definitely give you guys more advice, more in-depth advice next week. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys then. Or if you want to watch my makeup vlog tomorrow, stay tuned for tomorrow. Alright. See you guys. Have a blessed day.